Hello. So today I will be doing a book haul and a quick reading update because what I've been reading has kind of changed since last week. I will say I started off not thinking that I would have enough books. I started off thinking I wouldn't have enough books to show on this video. And I thought about doing maybe a fall reads or autumn reads video because I do have quite a few books that I think would make good autumn recommendations. It's sort of the vibe I like to read most of the time anyways, so I might do that in the future. I know we're already in almost October, so it's a little late, but I could always do a autumn winter maybe recommendations video. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to let me know. But yesterday and today I ended up getting some book mail, so I do have enough for a book haul video. So I will be out of town the rest of the week, so I had to film this on today is Tuesday to get it up in time to go up this week. So I'll edit it while I'm out of town, but I needed to film before I left, so I didn't have time to prep a full recommendations video, so hopefully that will come in the future. But today is just an old-fashioned book haul and reading update that I hope you're not sick of at this point, but I mean, really, that's what I do. I acquire books and I read them. So yeah, so let's just get started. Firstly, I'm going to show you the book that I'm currently reading because initially I was reading A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft, and I did start that book, but I did last minute, is that making a sound? I did last minute start another book based on my sister's recommendation. She just finished it and she loved it, so I was like, you know what, it's 270 pages or something like that, so I'll read that first. So enough talking. The book that I am currently reading now is called There, There by Tommy Orange. There, There. This is one of the New York Times 10 best books of the year. Let me see what year this was published, because it wasn't this year, I don't believe. 2018, so yeah, this was published in 2018. And it was also a Pulitzer Prize finalist. I feel like this would be a good tracing title because the letters are raised. So again, this is There, There by Tommy Orange. I've seen this book around a lot for a couple years, which makes sense now because it's won so many, well, I can't say won so many awards because it's been nominated for so many, awards and such. But I had never picked it up But then my sister read it based on a recommendation, and she really liked it. So basically, there is a fictional story told in multiple POVs, all of them from Native people. And so you get multiple POVs of seemingly different people of different ages, all set around Oakland, California. And there's a large cast of characters I can show you. In the front, they have cast of characters. So you get, like, in bold the name of each person, and then a little paragraph detailing kind of who they are. So there's quite a few perspectives in this book, which normally I'm not really big on multiple POVs. I generally like to be immersed in one person's head, and that's it. But it really, really works in this book. I am obviously not done. I only have this much left, but I've read most of it. And slowly, as you read this book and you read the different perspectives, you'll see how each of them are sort of connected to each other. It's very interesting. And a lot of the times the chapters are very short, and you only get to see from each person like maybe 1 or 2 times. But somehow throughout each individual narrative, it's creating this overall story arc that is all leading to this big powwow in Oakland, California. All of these individuals are going there for different reasons. And you as the reader, it's like kind of watching a very slow car wreck in some cases. You're like, oh no, something's going down at this, you know. So there's a lot of tension, especially right where I am as we're getting closer to the main event. As you see people who you know are going to meet each other and come together in either a positive or negative way. It reads really fast, partly because the chapters are so short, and you're switching heads each chapter. But I think another reason is because the writing is really phenomenal. Like, I remember I read, I think, the first paragraph, not even, I think I read just a couple sentences, and I was like, of course, this was nominated for the, the Pulitzer Prize. It's one of those books where you crack it open, and upon reading, you're immediately like, oh, this person knows how to write. Like Tommy Orange, gifted writer, like insane. And I think that's a lot also of the reason why this has been such a quick read for me. I think I started it, was it yesterday? Couldn't be yesterday, either yesterday or the day before, and I'm flying through it. As far as literary fiction goes, usually when you think of the genre, you think of something that's kind of dense and kind of murky that you wade through. But this, I don't feel that way about this book. You can tell that it's incredibly well crafted and like a feat of writing, but at the same time, it reads so fast and engaging. I'm really enjoying it so far. And I can see why my sister loved it so much. So here is the author. Tommy Orange also has like a preface and an interlude that kind of gives insights into like their thoughts on like Native culture and like present and history and like how it's affecting the community, and it's really, really insightful and good. I will say I don't think I've read a lot of novels or just books in general from a Native perspective, so this has been like really just interesting, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I can tell this is going to at least be a 4-star read at the very least. So I would say also, if you struggle with literary fiction, I think this would be a good like starting off point, because A, it's short. It's only, again, like just under 300 pages. It reads quickly, and it's really well written, so like it's a good book. So yeah, I haven't finished it, but I would already say I would recommend it. And I'm actually really glad I picked it up kind of out of the blue, because there's just something very refreshing about literary fiction when you've read a lot of fantasy or, you know, any other genre. Literary fiction just is like very grounding and like thoughtful, and I am reminded of why I like the genre so much. So yeah, highly recommend There There. And I have not finished it, so I'll tell you maybe my final thoughts next time, but so far so good. So yeah, and it's a paperback, which obviously I don't normally get, so so yeah, that is what I'm currently reading. And now I will move on to the book haul. So the first book I got is actually kind of funny. It's very familiar. I talked about it in my last video. And it was actually the book that I was going to read before I picked up There There. To save you confusion, it is a different copy of A Dark and Drowning Tide by Allison Saft. So this is the book I was originally going to read, and I actually had started. I was like a couple chapters in. And I'm really enjoying it so far. But I had forgotten that along with the Waterstones edition, I was also getting this Illumicrate edition. So this is the cover. It says A Dark and Drowning Tide. And we have Sylvie here and Lorelai. You'll notice it is a very different cover from the one I showed in the last video. And I do think the art is pretty, but I will say this is not my favorite like cover redesign. I think the art is really pretty. I just don't think it's prettier than the original cover. Like, I think the simplicity, the art itself is pretty, but just like against this matte blue, I don't know, I feel like it could have been more cohesive throughout the whole cover and not had these like borders, or at least they could have done something else on the background. I don't know. I'm no like designer, so I don't know things, but this is just my personal preferences. So this is not my favorite cover, but when you take off the cover, I was very pleasantly surprised, because on the front of the cover is this artwork. And if you're at all familiar with the US cover of A Dark and Drowning Tide, you will know that this is the art on the US cover. So I was a little sad because since I got the UK edition of this book in my previous haul, I was like, well, I guess I'll just look from afar at the US cover art and how beautiful it is. But now I don't have to, because the Illumicrate book has this art on the cover, and it's so pretty. I am absolutely in love with this cover art. So of course right here we have Sylvie. And here we have Lorelei. And again, if you didn't hear my synopsis, it's basically about two rival academics who end up having to work together to solve the disappearance of their mentor, I think. Again, I did start this book, but I'm only a couple chapters in, so I have limited knowledge. But I have read a lot of Alison Saft's books before, and I've enjoyed all of them so far, so very excited to continue on with this next. Oh, this art is so pretty. And then, of course, it has sprayed pages. Yeah, a lot of the like folklore involved in this book is like water folklore and magic, water magic, so that's why you'll often see like a lot of water imagery with this book. But even better, you know, well, I don't know. Just to add on to this beautiful front cover is the end papers, which is this stunning, like, I always say stunning, which is this beautiful, like, sea creature, fantastical sea creature art. It's kind of like a scientific diorama. So pretty. I love this style of art. Like, I love it. And I just think that's so cool. I'm so incredibly impressed with these end pages, because on the back is another one. And if you've heard me say it before, I am a horse girl. So give me a water horse, like a Kelpie-esque creature. I am all in. So pretty. I was actually thinking, and you can give me your opinions, but of just keeping the book like this without the dust jacket. Again, I don't hate the dust jacket, but I just love this cover, and I think it's really pretty. So yeah, leave your thoughts below if you want to. But yeah, this is the first book I got today. And then next we're moving on to the Fairy Loot adult book for September, I believe. So quick, I forgot to give a spoiler warning for that, so hopefully you looked away in time or you don't mind. So sorry about that. But here's the adult Fairy Loot book for September. It is The Gods Below by Andrea Stewart. Again, so this book has snakes on the cover. Sorry, what was I saying? I was saying I'm not the biggest fan of snakes. In fact, I don't know if it's a phobia, but it's close to a phobia, if not one of them. So not the hugest fan of this cover redesign. I don't think the original cover had snakes on it, but it is really pretty. And I can get over it. Again, this is an adult fantasy. If you've heard of Andrea Stewart before, she wrote the Bone Shard Daughter, that trilogy. I believe it's a completed trilogy at this point. I do have I think I have all 3 of the books. And it is a sapphic fantasy. I've heard some people like it, some people don't. I'm very curious to see where I'll fall. But from what I've heard, it sounds like a series I would like. And here is this one. It has these very vibrant sprayed pages. More snakes on the back, just to fuel my nightmares, And it says, if suffering made us strong, then I would be stronger than all of them. So I don't really know what this book is about, so let me look inside. It says, The Gods Below begins an epic new fantasy series from Sunday Times bestselling author Andrea Stewart, where 2 sisters, I love sister stories, or just sibling stories in general, where 2 sisters find themselves on opposite sides of a war against gods. This already sounds like it'd be up my alley. I probably won't read any more of that. I'll just give you the little premise. So check it out on Goodreads, or wherever you look at books, if you want to know more. I will show you the beautiful fan art, though. Fan art. I guess it is fan art, but the beautiful in-paper art. I actually haven't looked at this yet, so before I do, here is the dust jacket art. It's a reverse dust jacket, which I did not know. So that's really pretty. I love that we got to see the 2 sisters. And I noticed one of them had horns on their heads, so interesting. But here is what the naked book looks like. Also really pretty. I notice a lot of people, when they do book tapping videos, tap like this. And I just never noticed. So I'm going to try it in my videos from now on, I guess. Tell me if you like it. I've always just done like. But this is very pretty. Here is the back in paper art. I don't think I showed the first one. Well, starting from the back this time. Oh, I really love this art style. It's so pretty. just love sibling stories. I feel like the tension and angst, like between siblings, like that kind of dynamic is just really captivating, I guess. Is that a god? Is that an angel? Very curious. So yeah, this was the second book I got in the mail. And then the last book is from Waterstones, and it is All the Devils by Caitlin Wilson. And this one was a bit of a gamble for me. I have never read anything by this author, but I believe this is a dark academia story. You can see a hand with like ink or soot on their fingers, some moths, and then a hand with a candle with wax dripping over the sides. Again, I believe this is dark academia. At the top it says, "Something wicked this way comes." So, And on the back is just more moths and like candle smoke. And it says, "This year, the students at Ravenswood will be raising hell." So, yeah, definitely sounds dark academia to me. And this has black sprayed pages, which are a classic. I always love a black sprayed page. Ooh, this is really pretty end paper. Let me read you a quick little synopsis. It says, "Hell is empty and all the devils are at Ravenswood Academy." If you recognize that quote. Andy Emerson knows she must come to terms with a life without her sister, Violet. Oh, okay, so we're having kind of a sister moment in these books. I love that. But on the day of her funeral, Andy is shocked to discover one thing. The person in the casket is not her sister. Violet is alive. Convinced her sister's elite boarding school is covering up the truth, Andy enrolls at Ravenswood Academy to discover what really happened and find Violet. The school is as beautiful and haunting as the students within it, and Andy learns that it's not just good grades that drives these pupils. Something much darker is at play. After discovering a cryptic note from her sister, Andy must follow a set of clues to unlock the truth. This will bring her into contact with secret societies, ancient magic, demons, and monsters, and a charming senior named Jehan, who has his own reasons for finding out what happened to Violet Emerson. Very curious. I'm intrigued. It sounds like a bit of a thriller with dark academia, obviously. There's always murder involved with dark academia, I've noticed. So this just sounds really good. And I believe it's adult, but don't quote me on that. It kind of reminds me of Ninth House a little bit. Obviously not really plot-wise, but like atmosphere-wise. So. And I'll show you the end paper art now. It's just this really, really pretty, like moon and moth and stars aesthetic. Perfect for the autumn spooky season. So let me know if you've heard of this book or if you've read it. No spoilers, please. But I'm just really excited to read this one. I think I definitely want to get to this one either this month or in October. So yeah, that is it. Those were all of the books. Let me hold them up real quick. Well, hold on. There we go. So here are all the books that I talked about in this video. Let me know if you've read any of them or heard any of them. And yeah, I appreciate you watching. I should get this video up this week. There shouldn't be any delay, but we'll see. And let me know again if you are interested in like a recommendations video, like a fall or winter reads recommendations, because I'd love to film that. But otherwise, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you in my next one. Thanks.